Yep. Namaste everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. We are on class 3 of chapter 5 on the new schedule, 6:30 a.m. IST. So the replays for the earlier rooms are available. You can access them in Clubhouse. I've also put them in the chat, the links to the Advaita Retold YouTube channel where they're well cataloged, or you can go to the Apple Podcast or the Spotify link that is shared. For reading material, there's also a book available titled The Imaginary Door penned by Artemisia, based on Bindoji's insights into Advaita. For housekeeping, I will close the chat and hand raising. The channels will be reopened after about an hour when you can post questions or clarifications. Thank you very much, Bindoji. Over to you.
Thank you, Prakash. Namaste and Hari Om to all of you. Let me do my invocation. Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravashi Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. The Gita Dhyana Shlokam. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavai Vedai Sankapada Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyandam na Vidussura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishna was talking about Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyasa. So having told the Nitya Sannyasi, who is na dveshti na kankshati, who has no repulsion or attraction towards anything in the world, he is the one who is achieving the knowledge. But Karma Yoga is superior if you are not able to do the, desires under control. He is further elaborating on this same subject. Sannyasa karma yogayoho bhinna purushanushtayoho viruddhayoho phale api viruddho yuktaha natu upayoho nishreyaskaratvam eva iti prapte idam uchyate. This is the introduction to the next verse by Shankaracharya. Sannyasa karma yogayoho bhinna purushanushtayoho viruddhayoho phale api viruddho yuktaha means in the case of renunciation and karma yoga, which are opposed to each other and are to be practiced by different persons, it would be reasonable that their results too should be mutually opposed. Because the person who is renunciate cannot be doing karma yoga because he has no attitude or he has no kartrutva bhava, the doership. Natu upayoho nishreyaskaratvam eva iti prapte. And not only that both alike should be conducive to the highest good. This being the prima facie conclusion that arises, therefore Krishna is explaining that in the next verse. Sankhya yogayo pritak bhala pravatandina pandita Ekamapi astitaha samyak upayoho vindade phalam. Sankhya yogo pratak bala pravatanti na pandita. Na pravatanti. Pandita na pravatanti. The wise do not discriminate or separate. Pratak. They do not explain these two or declare these two are separate. What? Sankhya yoga yogayo. Sankhya and yoga. We have to be here very careful. Krishna could have used sannyasa yogayoho. But instead of using sannyasa yogayoho, which was the way in which he was explaining the previous verses, in this verse he has used Sankhya yogayoho instead of sannyasa yogayoho. There is a reason for this. We will see that when we explain these explanations. Ekamapi astitaha samyak upayoho vindate phalam. One who is properly established in even in one of these two paths obtains the fruit for both. Looks like confusing statement from Krishna. One is he is talking about Sankhya and Yoga. Second, he is saying that both these paths will give the result. Both of them are achievable. Both paths can yield to the same result. Sankhya Yoga Yoho is a compound word, Sankhya plus Yoga. The word Sankhya here in entire Bhagavad Gita, Sankhya doesn't mean the Sankhyas of Kapila, that what you call the Kapila Sankhya philosophical school, where Sankhya Darshana of 22 tattvas, 25 tattvas are explained by Kapila. That is also called Sankhya, but here in the entire Bhagavad Gita, the word Sankhya means Jnana. Sankhya Yoga Yoho means Jnana Nishta and Karma Yoga are the two paths which he is doing things. Sankhya means the path of knowledge and renunciation. Sankhyate parichiyate atma anena. That by which atma is fully discriminated is what is called Sankhya. Karma Yoga is the Antakarana Shuddhi Sadhana, what is used for the Chitta Shuddhi and Antakarana Shuddhi. So we have to be very careful when we are using the word Sankhya in the context of Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't refer to the Sankhya philosophy or Sankhya Darshana of Kapila. Here it is the Jnana Nishta or Viveka Jnana Nishta of Vedanta. Prutak means separate or different from each other. So they are declared as separate by Balaha. Now who are Bala? The literal meaning of Bala means child. But metaphorically, it is indicating the immature or uninstructed or the childish ones. Those who lack discrimination. They are called Balaha. So, Pravadanti is the verb, means they declare or proclaim or they announce that these two are separate. What? Sankhya and Yoga. By the immature or the one who have not understood it properly. Na Pandita. Not the wise. The wise do not discriminate between the two. Ekam api, even one alone, even one. Astitah mean abiding, stand upon, resort to, or establish. Having resorted to one of the two, or even one of them, being is established in one of them. Samyak means properly, completely, in a correct manner. So one who is properly established, or one who is properly following the path of Jnana Nishta or Karma Yoga. These are the Ubayoho means both. The fruit of both. Ubayoho phalam mean the fruits of Sankhya path and the Yoga path. Vindate means attains, experiences or gains. So this verse is saying that the both paths, whether it is the path of Karma Yoga or path of Jnana Nishta, both yield the same fruit. But if both yield the same fruit and even one suffices to obtain it, then their separateness is in what way? Why should they be having two separate names? Why should there be declared as two separate paths? Shankaracharya says that it is from the Vyavaharika point of view. Valid at the level of practice and adhikari, where the person who is processing or practicing it. But when it comes to the both giving the fruit is not in the Vyavaharika level. At the ultimate level, they converge in a single ekaphala. This is the precise Advaitic description. Distinctions are real at the path level or the practice level. At the path of Jnana Nishta and path of Chitta Shuddhi Sadhana. But they both dissolve when they yield the result at the Paramarthika level or the absolute level by giving rise to the Pratyaksha Anubhava of Atman or Brahman. So the difference is by people who are in the Vyavaharika level, who are uninstructed, they see the difference. The Bala or the uninstructed see two separate paths with two separate fruits. They say one is for Chitta Shuddhi, the other is for Jnana. But the Chitta Shuddhi and the Jnana is yielding the same result of Tattva Jnana. That can be seen only when you realize that both the paths are converging in the Paramarthika level at the same place. These two paths with one fruit is what is being referred by the Pandita. The difference is in the Vyavaharika Drishti in the uninstructed or those who are seeing it as different. But when the Pandityam, one who sees the Samadarshitvam or Samyak Darshanam, for them, these two paths are not separate. They are apparent separation. Their separations are not real. So the Veda or the separatedness is due to the superimposition of the karma aspect by those who are not able to realize the ultimate fruit. Therefore, the adhikaris are also different for these two paths as per the path of from the Vyavaharika point of view. The unity of the fruit, how does it happen, Adora? How they say Ubayo Phalam? The fruit of both attained through one end result is a compressed Advaitic statement. Ekha Phalatvam, moksha or the Aparoksha Anubhava is one. There are no two different liberations or two anubhavas. The knowing or the knowledge of Atma is one. One for the Karma Yogin separate and one for Jnana Nishtha separate is not there because Atma is only one. Because Eka Tattva, both paths lead to the recognition of Atman, which is Ekaha. Atman or Brahman, which is without when all the bondages to the karma and the path is lost in the fructification of the result. Marganam Aikyam is the culmination. That is, both the paths appear pruthak or separate when their starting point, but toward the end, the result converge at their terminus like two separate rivers, they merge together in the one ocean. But there is a samyak word used here. That is where the entire sadhana chatushtaya is intended by that word. For karma yoga to yield the fruit, it must be practiced by all the viveka, vairagya, shatsambhati and mumukshutva. That is the time when that samyak darshanam, which the panditya through the path of knowledge also achieves. So dissolving these two separatedness, establishing in the panditya, ekaphala, is the recognition of Atman or Brahman which is being indicated in this verse. Sankhya yogiho pratak viruddha binna phalau balaha pravatanti na pandita. The childish, Shankaracharya's Bhashya, his commentary is what I am reading now. The childish who does not speak of knowledge from the point of view of knowledge, for him the Sankhya and Yoga are distinct, opposed and having different results. Panditaha tu jnaninaha ekam palam aviruddham icchanti. But the wise, that the knowers of Atman or Brahman, understand them as having one and the same non-opposed result. They don't see the separation or the result from the point of result. Katam, how is it? Ekamapi Sankhya Yogayoho Samyak Astitaha Samyak Anushtitavan Ityartaha Ubayo Vindade Phalam. And one who has properly resorted to even one of the two, either Sankhya, the path of Jnana Nishtha, or Yoga, this is who has duly practiced it, attains the same results of Atma, Jnana, Tattva Jnana. Ubayoho tadeva hi nishreyasam phalam ataha na phale viruddhaha asti. For the fruit for both is indeed the same, the highest good of Tattva Jnana. Therefore, there is no opposition in the result. Nanu sannyasa karma yoga shabdena prastustya sankhya yogayoho phalaihatvam katam iha aprakritam braviti. But then having introduced the topic with the terms sannyasa and karma yoga, how does he speak here seemingly irrelevantly the unity of the result of Sankhya and Yoga being one? So the Siddhanti says, na doshaha. There is no defect in saying that. Yadyapi Arjunena sannyasan karma yogam cha kevalam abhipretya prashnaha kritaha. Although Arjuna has asked the question as karma sannyasa or yoga, which is the better of the two? You talk both about the same, that sannyasa and karma yoga. But of that term, which is the two, is the beginning, the question which Arjuna has asked. Bhagavastu tada parityagena eva swavipretam cha vishesham samyojya shabdantara vachyataya prativachanam vadau sankhya yogayoho iti. Krishna, without abandoning that very topic, added his own intended distinction. That is important. The intended distinction, and gave the reply by means of different terminology, Sankhya and Yoga. Even though Arjuna's question was Sannyasa and Yoga, now Krishna is talking about Sankhya and Yoga. Tau eva Sannyasa Karma Yogayo Jnana Tadupaya Sambuddhitva Adi Samyuktau Sankhya Yoga Shabdavachyo iti Bhagavatav Matam. It is Krishna's view that those very renunciation and Karma Yoga, when associated respectively with the knowledge and with such means of knowledge as equanimity of mind and the like, are denoted by the terms Sankhya and Yoga in place of Sannyasa and Yoga. Ataha na aprakrita prakriye iti. Therefore, there is no irrelevance or departure from the topic here. So now we understood, no, why in the till now Arjuna's question was Sannyasa and Yoga. Why did Krishna suddenly shift it into Sankhya and Yoga? Because the Sannyasa end result and the Sankhya end result are one and the same. Those who are following that, not the, what you call, Linga Sannyasa, but those who are doing that, the Nitya Sannyasi, one who has done that aspect of Dvandvatita. What he is achieving is the same thing what is achieved by the Jnana Nishta, those who are following Sankhya Yoga. Therefore, Krishna has interchangeably used the word Sannyasa and Sankhya here. The next verse, the fourth verse is Yasyapi Samyak Anushtanat Katam Ubayoho Phalam Vindade iti uchyate. Why, how can one result be achieved by the two paths? That is being explained here. Yat Sankhyahi prapyate sthanam tad yogairabi gamyate. Ekam Sankyam cha yogam cha yappasyati sapashyati. This is a explanation which is very important in the sense that yappasyati sapashyati. Yat Sankhya yoga prapyate sthanam tad yogairabi gamyate. What is achieved by Sankhya is the same thing what is being achieved by the yoga, karma yoga also. Ekam Sankyam cha yogam cha yappasyati sapashyati. He who sees Sankhya and yoga as one is the one who really sees or really understands it. Yet, that which is being reached, that is being indicated by the word yet. Sankhya, but through the path of Sankhya, by those who follow the path of Jnana Nishta. So, those who follow the Jnana Nishta, prapyate, they arrive at or they reach a certain achievement. The prapyate, gamyate. Sankhya and Yoga produces the same destination. Therefore, they arrive at what is already a achieved thing. What is being done by both these processes, through Jnana and through Karma Yoga. What is being removed is the the adhyasa or the superimposition or the misunderstanding we have about ourselves. Both these paths help us to get rid of our adhyasa or the superimposition which we have. So the sthana is not constructed by either of the path. It is not a product of Sankhya path or the yoga path, but it is revealed upon the removal of the avarana or the adhyasa. That is why both are landing at the same result, even though apparently the paths are different. The sthanam or the station, place or abode which is being referred is the philosophical summit of this particular verse. Shankaracharya identifies this as Brahman or Atma Aikyam, Atma Swarupa, identical with Brahman. This is not any special place or any loka which is to be reached spatially by space or time, but as the recognition of one's own nature. Swatma avasthanam, Atmanishta, the standing in one's own ground of pure Sachidananda Swarupa. So the word sthana, astita, here in this verse, is the same stita prajna when they use the word stita prajna, the place where he is established or he has landed through prajna, using his prajna or the knowledge. And both are showing the unwavering establishment in the Swarupa or the Atma Swarupa or Atma. The sthana reached by the path is precisely the Stita Prajnachya sthana, the immovable ground of Atman or Brahman, which is being recognized and not being specially reached or, by traveling or any time and space given. All that is being done is both these paths are removing our ignorance, the avarana, because of which we have the adhyasa or the superimposition. So that tad yogai api gamyate, what is being reached by the Sankhya is the same thing what yoga api means. Even yoga is helping us to reach or arriving at. So the prapyate gamyate, that is the two different verbs are indicating towards reaching or achieving. To indicate there are two different paths at the Vyavaharika level, but at the end result or where the achievement has been received, both reach the same end result. The difference is in the approach with establishing the identity of the definition. Prapyate is used for Sankhya and Gamyate is used for Yoga. There is a progressive movement in the case of sadhana for a yoga. Therefore, the word Gamyate is being used. There are subtle nuances of Sanskrit language. I'm not delving into that. Ekam is the Sankyam cha Yogam cha. That is the one or identical or non-separate end result for both Sankhya and Yoga, which is the Brahma Sakshatkara or the destination of Swarupa Avastastandam, dissolving all the apparent dualities and ending in the non-dual Atma. Krishna used the word Sankyam cha Yogam cha. The cha word is very important. Even though the word cha has the meaning and. It can also be used for both. So, Sankyam cha Yogam cha. It is not Sankhya and Yoga and. It is Sankhya, both Sankhya and Yoga. That is the way in which the Sankhya cha Yogam cha. So the cha, one cha will go in the beginning to say both. Sankyam Yogam cha. Sankyam cha Yogam. So both Sankhya and Yoga will give the same result. But the most important aspect of this verse is yapashyati sapashyati. Pashyati is coming from a verbal root drishyati. Dr. So one who sees is the meaning. Pashyati means sees or seeing. Pashyati is not an ordinary sensory perception what is being indicated here. In the Upanishads and the Gita, they register seeing, drishyati, pashyati, etc. refers to the direct, immediate, non-mediate recognition of Atman, which is the Sakshatkara. It is the culmination of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana as a form of realization. So the word seeing and used by two different verbs, drishyati, pashyati, etc., is to indicate that the realization is direct, immediate and non-mediate recognition of the Swarupa of oneself. So this is not a physical vision by the eye, but it is the eye of the self, Jnana Chakshu. Krishna will talk about this in the 15th chapter. Jnana Chakshu means the eye of the knowledge. Through the knowledge we get a vision. That is not the vision which we see using our physical eye, which is a sense organ. But there is something beyond the senses, which is also equivalent to seeing or knowing. And that is what is here indicated by yapashyati sapashyati. So, sapashyati, we should see that is the most celebrated rhetorical and philosophical move in the Gita. The first pashyati states the condition, while the second pashyati states the validation. He who sees them as one, he truly sees, is the meaning, literal meaning of it. So yapashyati sapashyati is the one who sees both yoga and Sankhya leading to one end result as one. He truly sees. Yapashyati sapashyati. So this doubling of pashyati as a repetitiveness is not a redundant usage, but it is the Advaitic declaration that the true seeing is self-validating of the recognition of Ekam Atma, which is achieved through the Sankhya path and the Yoga path, not giving end result of two different nature. It is the cognitive act that is liberation itself. Jnanam eva moksha. There where the seer and the seen are dissolved into a pure act of being in the Sakshi Chaitanya or the Satchidananda Chaitanya. So there is while the path may have the one who is practicing and putting, but at the end result, both of them dissolve their individuality and they identify their true nature as Satchidananda Atma. So the first pada in this verse is a structural form of Vedanta. Yat prapyate sthanam tad gamyate. It is something very similar to the Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. Yat Brahma Tad Tvamasi. That Yat Tat equation of the grammatical level performs the unity it declares. Just as Tad Tvamasi equates the Jiva and Brahma across the apparent differences, here Yat Sankhya Tat Yoga equates the two paths across the two apparent differences, and the Mahavakya Marga of unity of statement, that both the paths correspondingly lead to the unity of the statement about Atman. The double usage of Pashyati is indicating the Darshana as moksha. Pashyati means seeing. So Darshana is also the seen. So the repetition Yap Pashyati Sa Pashyati has been a subject of the commentary by Shankaracharya. His insight is that the second Pashyati is not a merely confirmatory but ontological declarative, that is saying one who sees unity, that one is the true seer or the pure Atma himself. The apparent movement is yes Pashyati, the empirical description of one who achieves this vision. Sapashyati means he is identical with the self as a drashta or pure Atman itself. Here there is a reference to the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Drashta drashtatve na drishyate. In the 3.4.2 of Brihadaranya Upanishad. The seer cannot be seen as an object. It is a pure subjectivity. Therefore, the Sapashyati declares that the one who recognizes oneness, ekam, in the two paths, become identified with the Sakshi or the pure Satchitananda. And that is his Swabhava or Swarupa, which is the nature of the true seer. And that is the Sthana, the destination as Brahman. So the verse is giving the result of the paths of Sankhya and Yoga as the ultimate standing in Brahman as the realization, which is not locative, but the recognition of one's own true nature. The two differences, Bala, Prabhadanti, Napandita, there that is those who make the differentiation. Here that Pandita is the one who is Nitya Sannyasi, Nirdhvandaha, where he doesn't have the duality of the previous verse which I said. So Bala Drishti, two paths are there, two fruits and two separate achieve, two goals will be there. That is what they think about it. But at the Madhyama Drishti, those who are proceeding in the path, they know that there are two paths, but the fruit is only one. But when they realize it, at the end of the path, when the Samyak Darshana takes place, the path, the fruit, the seer and the seen all dissolve into the Atman or Brahman. So the verse 5.3 started it as two paths. 5.4 is talking about the Nitya Sannyasi. And this verse 5.5 is the graded revelation where the ultimate goal is, or the end result is only one and the same. Yat Sankhya Jnana Nishtai Sannyasi bihi prapyate sthanam mokshakyam. Bhashyam of Shankaracharya says that the state called liberation, which is attained by the Sankhyas, the renunciates established in the knowledge, tad yogehi api jnana pratyupaya tvena ishware samarpya karmani atman phalam anabhisandhaya anusrishtanti ye te yogaha yoginaha taihi api. The very same result, what is achieved by the Sankyas and the Yoga, both of them, one minute, I think I just shifted my page. Just hold a minute. Yeah. That very same, this thing, tat yogahi api jnana pratyuvayatvena, attained through the jnana, Ishvara samarpya karmanehi atminaha phalam anajivitahaya anushdishtanti te yoga yoginaha tatairati. Yogi, the path of yogis also, those who regarding action as the means to the attainment of knowledge, by dedicating their actions to the Ishvara, the God, and performing them without seeking any fruit of action, they too achieve the same. That is why Krishna said that कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भू मा ते संगस्त्व कर्मणि. It is not because he wanted Arjuna to not think about the fruit of action. But if he does a job like that, the end result is that he will also have the knowledge what through the Jnana Nishtha others are also have achieved. This is the one who sees the two different separation as Sankhya and Yoga is not the separate from the point of view of the end result. Paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena gamyate ityabhiprayaha. Through the gateway of attaining supreme knowledge and renunciation is the ultimate place where they land. Ataha ekam sankyam cha yogam cha pasyati phalaikatvat sapasyati samyak pasyati ityartaha. Therefore, those who sees the Sankhya and Yoga as one, because of the fruit is one, he truly deserves or he truly sees the end result as his own Swarupa, as non-dual. Then, the next verse before starting, Shankaracharya is giving a explanation. Evam tarhi yoga sannyasa eva vishishyate katam tarhi tyuktam tayohu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate iti shrunu tatra karanam. If that is so, then the renunciation itself is superior to yoga. Then how can Krishna say that tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate in the second verse? Of the two, karma yoga is superior to renunciation if both the results are leading to the same end result. Why is he making this distinction? Shrunu tatra karanam. Shankaracharya is saying that, listen to the answer. Why is he saying so? Tvaya prishtam kevalam karma sannyasam karma yogam cha abhipretya tayoho anyataraha ka shreyaniti. Arjuna asked, having in mind only renunciation of action and karma yoga, as to which one of the two is superior. Tad anurupam pratibachanam maya uktam karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishade iti jnanam anapeksha. Accordingly, Krishna gave the reply. I gave the reply suited to the question. Karma yoga is superior to renunciation of action, setting aside the knowledge. Jnanapekshastu sannyasaha sankyam iti maya abhipreta. But renunciation when connected with the knowledge. So the difference between the linga sannyasa and the nitya sannyasi. That is what is being indicated here. The renunciation when connected with the knowledge becomes the nitya sannyadi. And that is what I intended by the term sankhya. Not linga sannyasa or the external renunciation. Paramartha yogascha eva. And that alone is the highest yoga in the ultimate sense. The ultimate yoga, or why the yoga also ending the same place. The yoga when we do it as Ishwararpana, or by dedicating to the higher pedestal of Hari Yoga, or in the highest, in the karma yoga mark. But when will the dedication be perfect? That is what is being indicated. Paramartha yogascha eva. That alone will become the highest yoga when it is with the knowledge that I am not the one who is even dedicating to the God. Otherwise that individuality, the ego will be there, which says that I am dedicating to God, so I am doing karma yoga. That ego can still be there. Yastu karma yogaha vaitikaha sacha tadartyat yogaha sannyasaha iti upacharyate. The Vedic karma yoga is too figuratively spoken as yoga and as renunciation because it serves that end. Kadam tat tadartyam iti uchyate. How it serves that end is now being explained by Krishna in the next verse. It is the verse number 6. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma na achirenadi gacchati. Sannyasastu mahabaho yogamaptum ayogata. E mahabaho, e Arjuna, sannyasastu, but renunciation, dukkhamaptum ayogataha. Without yoga, ayogataha means without yoga, is difficult to attain. That is, renunciation is difficult to attain without yoga, O Arjuna. Yoga yuktaha munir brahma na achirena adhikachati. Yoga yuktaha, who has integrated the yoga into his sannyasa, his renunciation, he becomes a muni. Munihi. Brahma nachirena gacchati. Adhigacchati. That muni achieves. Adhigacchati means achieves. Nachirena means with swiftly, without delay. So, when the yoga is integrated with the knowledge, the attainment of self or Atma or Brahma happens instantaneously. Sannyasa. Here, the sannyasa word used is to bring back the question of Arjuna into picture. The sannyasa spoken here is the same restricted referent in the 5.2. Not the jnana nishta sannyasa, which is the Paramahamsa sannyasa. That sannyasa, which is the external sannyasa, when yoked or integrated with jnana, then only that yoga becomes a purificatory discipline. Otherwise, it is an outward sannyasa with the ego that I am a sannyasi. Therefore, this verse, the karma yoga is indispensable antecedent for genuine sannyasa. Genuine sannyasa is not taking place unless it is accompanied or it is starting from the karma yoga, which is also genuine in nature. That you are not doing the offering to the Lord without mentally detaching it. So what is being offered or as a devotion to the Lord is never bequeathed by the person again. He has to totally renounce what is being offered to the Lord. So this verse is very important in the practicality of what is the yoga and the sannyasa here. The verse started with a word tu, means however, Mahabaho or Arjuna, dukkam aptum ayogataha. Dukkam means hardship or difficulty. Aptum means attain. Ayogataha means without yoga. So what does it say? It says that it is difficult to attain the sannyasa that is attempted. Ayogataha without yoga is not merely ineffective, but it is actively painful. It is giving rise to the sorrow or the dukkha. Why? Because kama, krodadi, vasana, which are residual impressions of the desire and aversion, that will remain unburnt in the antakarana if we don't use the yoga, karma yoga. And without purificatory fire of karma yoga, they cannot continue to the path of sannyasa, because they continue to agitate the mind even in the formal, sannyasi's mind, producing inner conflict, suppression, restlessness, etc. So dukkam apta means too difficult to attain the sannyasa, the true sannyasa. The nitya sannyasi is difficult to state is difficult to be achieved unless it is coupled with a true karma yoga. The destination being the same. The ayogataha means the absence of yoga. It makes the sannyasa difficult. Yoga here means karma yoga in the sense that it is not merely an action by the individuality with egoistic mind in the picture. It is a systematic purification of the antakarana where the nishkama karma, when it happens, then only it becomes a Ishwararpana. And the prasada buddhi which was discussed earlier, then only it is the real karma yoga in its proper interpretation. So yoga yuktaha munihi. A muni, a sage, yoga yuktaha, when he is, yoked with, doubled with yoga and sannyasa. This samyak state or the proper complete, total establishment in the path of jnana sannyasa with the karma yoga. Therefore, the yoga yukta is pointing toward the mature nature of the karma yogi, who is now not only a karma yogi, but is also a karma sannyasi. One whose antakarna has been sufficiently purified through the sustained nishkama karma to be ripe, and there his karma yoga and jnana nishta, there is absolutely no difference in the attitude. Karma yoga is in the state of established jnana when the karma yoga is doing that. He doesn't even feel that he is doing a karma yoga. For him, it is that samadarshitvam, which has been mentioned earlier, nitya yogi, nitya sannyasi. So that is indicating to that yogi or muni, who is a transitional figure, standing between the pravritti marga and the nivritti marga. The one for whom the renunciation will now be sukham, no more giving dukkham, because he doesn't have to toil it as a karma yoga in the beginning. Therefore, he is called a muni because he has become silent. He has no complaint. His life he has taken it as in a stride where he doesn't own anything, he doesn't offer anything. He has established himself in the nature of the self. So the muni is etymologically one who has maintained mauna, inner silence. Not any external silence of speech, but the cessation of the internal prattle of vikalpa of the mind, or the endless stream of desire-driven thoughts and formations. This inner silence or inner mauna is precisely the fruit of karma yoga. The purified andakarana that has become still enough prasanna or prasada to receive the highest light of Atma Jnana. Therefore, the complete yogi muni or the yoga yukta muni is one who has achieved both the outer discipline of yoga and the inner silence of mauna, and stands at the threshold of Brahma Sakshatkara. Brahma na achirena adigacchati. Brahma means that state of Atma or Brahma. Achirena, na achirena means immediately. Chirena means eternally. Na chirena means instantaneously or swiftly. Takshikena, at the moment, very moment, is when the obstacles are gone for him. Adigamyate means direct knowledge. It is not gamyate on the ordinary sense. Here adigamyate is the sakshat aparoksha jnana. Not mediated inference, but an immediate recognition without any mediate. The yoga yukta muni does not merely approach the self or Brahman as an object, but he directly knows it as his own Atman. He has, from the intellectual understanding of Atman or Brahman, he has now realized that is his nature. So in the first sloka of this chapter, Arjuna asked the question, what is better than sannyasa or yoga? Krishna said that both are nishrayaskara. Both are, he is capable of giving the same result. But karma yoga, but he said karma yoga is superior to karma sannyasa. In the third verse, he said that sannyasa will also read the same thing if it is a true sannyasa, where it is nirdvandva. It is not an external sannyasa, but an internal one. So the Pandita, one who sees them both as the same, ekamapi ubayo phalam. He sees the fruit as the same for both. And in the 5th verse, such a person is called the one true seer. Yappasyati sapasyati. In the 6th verse, why karma yoga is superior? Sannyasa ayogadaha is dukkham. Without the yoga, the sannyasa is producing dukkham or sorrow. But when it is yoga yukta, he becomes a muni. He becomes the mauni, or the one who reaches Brahman nachirena instantaneously. So the stages are very clear from the point of view of Krishna's statements. Karma yoga is superior, but that karma yoga, as we proceed, should mature from the external sannyasa to a state of sannyasa with the knowledge that there is no two separate yogi and a sannyasi. One who surrenders and one who to Ishvara, one who surrenders, and to one who is, renouncing from his own activity. All his actions becomes yoga yukta. He is endowed or integrated with the yoga. And therefore, it is a state of karma yoga with jnana. And that leads into the antakarana prasada. And in such a chitta, the individual, the external renunciation of action does not bring shanti, but when it is yoked or with the yoga of karma yoga, then it becomes the jnana yoga. And instantaneously, quickly in time, without any structural delay of gradually becoming Brahman adhigacchati, he directly knows as his own swarupa. So there is no kala tamasam or the delay in the time for getting the state of sukham, which is no more riddled with the torture of doing the sannyasa or yoga. It is the figure for Uttama Adhikari, the highest qualified seeker, for whom the Vedantic teaching, Brahma Vidya, will operate with the maximum efficiency, producing same Brahma Sakshatkara Nachirena. Sanyasastu Paramartikaha He Mahabaho Dukkam Aptum Praptum Ayogataha Yogena Vina. The Bhashya says that renunciation of the highest sense, O Arjuna, is difficult to attain without yoga. Yoga yuktaha vaitigena karma yogena ishvara samarpita rupena phala nirapekshena yuktaha. The one who has endowed yoga with the karma yoga, characterized by the dedication to Ishvara and free from the dependence of the results. Munihi mananat Ishvara surupasya munihi. Manana, sage, muni, so called because he reflects upon the nature of Ishvara. Brahma Paramatma Jnana Nishta Lakshanatva Pragritaha Sanyasaha Brahma Uchyate. Nyasa iti Brahma Brahma hi Paraihi. Taittiriya Narayana. It says that renunciation is Brahman, or Brahman is indeed supreme. Brahma Paramartha Sannyasam Paramartha Jnana Nishta Lakshanam Na Chirena Chiprameva Adhigachadi Prapnodi. Such a person quickly, without delay, attained Brahman, the highest renunciation characterized by the steadfastness in supreme knowledge. Ataha Maya Uktam Karma Yoga Vishishyate iti. Therefore, Krishna says, I said, Karma Yoga is superior in the second verse. We'll take the 7th verse on Monday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Bindoji. I've opened the chat and hand raising. If there are any further follow-up questions or discussions.
Today I don't think there will be any questions because it's more of an explanation of how the yoga has to be done, and sannyasa and yoga, how to integrate between the two. So if that has been understood, I don't think there can be any question. There are no two separate paths of karma yoga and karma sannyasa. It's only one path.
Yeah, actually the two sides to the same coin, right, Bindoji?
Right. That's right.
One is looking at the renunciation of certain actions that prevent, and the other side is the actions that liberate one, right?
Right. In fact, the renunciation, what you are renunciating, you are renouncing at the feet of the Lord.
Right.
It is not the material offering of karma yoga what is being done. The karma phala, as a individual, what you are offering is that I am not the doer, so I am not even entitled for the results of the action. So the karma happens by itself because of the prakriti jair gunaihi, because the gunas of the prakriti, the action is happening. I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer of the karma. That attitude is the karma yoga in reality, not the physically offering flower, fruits or yoga, yajna, etc. So this, when it is matured with that, the yoga becomes karma yoga when you identify yourself as I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer, therefore whatever is happening is being offered to the Ishvara. And when that happens, the person becomes Yoga Yukta Muni. He becomes endowed with the knowledge that he is no more a doer.
Yeah, there is no there is no moving or staying still, right, Bindoji?
Right.
Yeah. It is something that a deep contemplation, a manana, will definitely strengthen the buddhi in terms of that realization, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell Yash to play the same thing in the evening Indian time.
Yes, I've
So
already
that
passed on a message. Yeah.
people will feel the class is live on the yoga place.
Yes.
And the other days, you can continue with the third chapter, or if they not much listeners are there, then you don't have to do that. Then only do the 3 days of Monday, Wednesday and Friday.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
But I would like Sunday, the Indian time, all of you, Prakash, Srini, Venkat, Revati, Jesse, Patrick, all of you to be there on a open discussion. My presence is not required. At least when I hear back the open discussion later on the replay, I know exactly what is transpired in the room and where, misunderstanding is taking place. That way I can understand and make, my comments were that, the approach was not from the right direction. So conduct the Sunday classes without me, the open discussion.
Sure, Binduji. We'll do that, yeah.
I want the people like you, Srini, Venkat, Patrick, and if Jadaveda is there, him, whoever is there willing to, let them come.
Sure, yes.
Okay. So we'll meet on Monday.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
Prakash, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming and attending this session. So we'll continue on the chapter 5, room number 4 on Monday at 6:30 p.m. a.m. IST, 6:30 a.m. IST. So you can access the replays in Clubhouse just to do the manana before you come for the next session. Or you could go to Advaita Retold YouTube channel and a couple of other links shared in the chat. And as always, heartfelt thanks to Binduji for taking the time and offering this deep contemplation. Over to you, Binduji, to close the room.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Jesse, Srini, Revati, Sahil, Shraddha, Sophie, and Patrick who have attended the room. And see you all on Monday at the same time. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Good day.
Have a good day.